Hey guys, it's Monica, Busy Dreaming Mom here. I just wanted to talk to you guys about something that I know every parent at some point has experienced, especially a parent of littles. I have three littles, a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and an 18-month-old, almost 18-month-old. And the 18-month-old is starting to remind me of what toddlerdom is all about, which is about asserting independence or finding independence, finding a voice, saying no, reaching limits, finding different nap times of the day, and trying to figure out when your kid, is going to get tired and melt down. And it just seems like a guessing game all the time. Recently, we went out to eat at a couple different places. I was alone with the kids because my husband works a lot during the day and during the week. So the first experience was at an IHOP, and I was starving. I hadn't eaten breakfast, and we just had a lot going on that morning, so we decided to go out to kind of more of a brunch. So me and my 3 kids went out, and as we're waiting, everything in Texas has like a long wait. You wait to sit, then you wait a long time for your food. It's just really frustrating. It's like they don't have enough people working, and so you just wait a long time. Well, anyways, we get there. We wait for a while. Kendrick gets really fussy. I do everything I can. I offer him to nurse. I, let him down and play around. He's just getting really fussy, and he's getting, frustrated. So actually he starts to fall asleep in my arms, so I'm like, great. So then, of course, if you have more than one, as soon as one gets to sleep, someone does something to wake them up. So that happened. My daughter did something, went and rubbed his head, and he woke up. And then from there, it was just super downhill. We got our table, sat down, and he just started throwing tantrums that seemed to go on and on, like contractions, for a long time, and they're extremely painful, and I didn't know when it would stop. We actually had, I think he was a manager or, the host at the door. He came and basically threw, Go-Gurts, generic restaurant-style Go-Gurts on our table, and he's like, here, these should help. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I really felt like I should get up and walk out. I felt like we were disturbing everyone. I was embarrassed. I was doing everything I could to be calm and just try to stay with my son at that time and just let him get through that. And I realized a couple things. First of all, he was really hungry and he was really tired. He started taking a morning nap again, and so that's something that he had only been taking an afternoon nap, 1 nap a day, and then he kind of moved his nap up really early, and it happened, kind of just recently, so that consistency isn't something that I was used to yet. Long story short, they rush our food out. He says thank you to the waitress, because apparently, I just starved the poor boy, and he started gobbling down his food, but he just still wasn't feeling it. He was still really upset. The other 2 kids acted like complete angels during this time. They really didn't fight or do anything. They just kind of sat there quietly, they knew I was, had enough on my hands, and they were just extremely cooperative and very sweet, and tried to help out by offering their brother some of their juice or whatever, and I was so grateful to them. And I put Kendrick down because I was like, well, I'm just going to let him run it off. I don't care. I put him down, and he goes and flings himself on the floor. Almost like I shoved him on the floor. He just went and flung himself on the floor. And I get up to pick him up, and I see a table that just has a look of horror on their face. How could you do that? And I was like, we have to go. And at that time, I was like, man, we need our bill. I got out, and I was extremely, extremely embarrassed. There was nothing I could do. At some point as a parent, you realize that there is nothing you can do. You have to ride this wave and just stick with it till it's over. And it helps you realize a couple things. First of all, you need to be grateful that it doesn't happen all the time, 24/7. I've never had colicky babies. I've never, my kids have always been on a consistent schedule with nap times, and, I just thought that was really normal. And so when I entered the whole, tantrum era, I had done enough research to just know you're supposed to either ignore it or wait it out with them, or see if they're comforted by being held while they're going through that, or they're upset and they're really trying to learn communication. And also don't push their boundaries. When it's time for a nap, don't chance it and take them out. There have been a few times when I forgot. I didn't realize. I'm like, I'm hungry, let's go eat. and, you know, someone hasn't had their nap. So I have to really remember I have to respect that. And then the other thing, just as some things are beyond your control, like how you react to things is in your control. You can control how you can react. You can't control how your child is going to react. And as the adult, you are the one who sets the example and the precedent, not only to your family, but to other families. When other families say, oh, well, you know, she's not getting out of control. Yes, there's some fundamentalist, you know, disciplinarians who'll be like, oh my gosh, she's letting him get away with everything, you know, any and everything. And, you know, when he gets to be 14, you know, he's gonna like slap her silly or something like that. But, you know, like, these are children. They're not thinking like, let me see if I can get away with this now, so when I'm 14 I can slap my mom. Like, be for real. It's you gotta learn their language instead of making them immediately mature to where you are. And that's what I've learned. Second scenario happened today. We went to Cracker Barrel, and again, like, I really thought I got it right this time. Like, we didn't go super late that I thought of, but again, in Texas, you have to wait for everything. So we already had to wait 20 to 25 minutes for our table. And then by the time we sat in Cracker Barrel, it was like a child's play place with all the stuff they have. So you chase your kid around, hoping to God they don't break anything. And then it's time to get called, we sit down, and then we wait for a really long time for our food. And I ordered 2 meals and whatever. So while we were there, everything was going kind of okay. Kendrick started getting hungry, and Kendrick, that's another thing I have to learn. Remember, when you have a toddler, I've had 3, and I guess I just forget. Always bring a snack and a change of clothes. That is going to be my mantra from now on when I leave the house. Do you have a snack? Do you have a change of clothes? He got really hungry. A different waitress, who wasn't even our waitress, offered to bring us some biscuits. And I was like, yes, please. And Kendrick gobbled those down. And then I had a little trouble with my daughter, and she's going through this phase right now at 3 where she like just says a lot of stuff. Like, she just doesn't stop talking, and everything she says isn't always respectful or appropriate. So it's just like, okay, I bought a hot chocolate for her and I to share because she asked for a hot chocolate, and I kind of wanted one, so we decided we'd share one. So we have the 2 straws, and it's cute, and we're doing the mother and daughter share the chocolate thing. And then I realized that while I'm tending to Kendrick, she's drinking all the hot chocolate. I'm just like, look, girl, you need to slow down. So I take the mug, and I say, we're going to take a break. I want you to drink some water. And I set a glass of water in front of her. And she was upset, and she was just like, I'm never drinking water. And I ignored her, like I usually do when she gets mouthy. And then the next thing I knew, she was trying to push the glass back out of frustration, and she tipped an entire full-size glass of water all over Kendrick and I, who were sitting closely across the table. And Kendrick was sitting on my lap, so I just kind of sat there and stared because I didn't know what to do. And as soon as she pushed over, she was like, sorry. Like, she didn't mean to do that, but she did mean to push the glass back because I asked her about it afterwards, and to shove the glass away. Well, anyways, I was so angry I didn't talk to her for a little while, but I just gave her the look like, I can't believe you just did that. Kendrick's soaking wet, and from that point on, he just had a giant hissy fit. Like, he had a tantrum. I had to take his pants off because they were wet and I'm wringing them out. My skirt is wet, but I'm a big girl to deal with it. And it was just rough. And I just kept thinking, like, you know, you get in those situations, it's almost fight or flight. Like, do I go home? Like, I feel like I need to leave. I need to get out of here. I need to spare everybody else. And that's kind of the point that I want to talk about. Like, I was proud of myself because we did stay. We stayed, and we ate our food. We didn't prolong it, because, you know, it's already been a tough time, so I'm tired. But we ate our food, and then, you know, I kind of moved us along, packed up, and we got out. And the thing, like, with kids that I would just encourage, you know, parents and encourage moms to remember is that it's not that we can't take our kids anywhere, or we can't take them anywhere until they learn how to do X, Y, and Z or act a certain way. You know, kids are always learning, and they're going through these developmental stages, and we have to remember that, and we have to learn to be patient even when it's extremely inconvenient, even when we feel like everyone is judging our decisions. And I feel that, you know, the kid is going to get over the situation. Like, they'll get in the car, get their nap, fall asleep. They'll get over it. You may be, you know, traumatized for a little while, but you'll get over it too, and you'll try it again. And the thing is, the practice. It's a practice. The first few times after you first have a baby, whether it's your first, second, third, or fourth, you know, you're like, okay, how am I going to go to the grocery store? How am I going to get back and forth to the doctor? How am I going to do this, that, and the other? And the first time you do it, you give yourself more than enough time to do so. And then you realize, okay, well, we didn't die. I guess I can try that again. And then the more kids you add to your brood, the more you realize, like, okay, you know, this isn't that bad. Like, everyone adapts. There's not always a time when it goes perfectly. And you have to be grateful for the times when it does. If it doesn't happen 24/7, then you can thank God that you don't have a serious problem on your hands. But when you have, you know, like some cleanup to do from time to time, which is where sometimes you just have to sit back and let yourself get water splashed on you or get Go-Gurt, you know, thrown at you. And then after that, you just like, you deal with it, and it's very humbling. And then you clean up and you're like, okay, let's go and get you guys settled down, and then we'll try it again some other time. You know, again, like, I'm very sensitive to people around me, and I don't want to ruin anybody else's experience or be the crazy lady with all the kids and, you know, that nobody wants to sit next to. Like, I've had people move when we came in to sit down just because, and I understand that, I respect that. Like, some people just want to have a nice meal without distractions. Like, some people go out to eat by themselves. They go out to get away from the clutter, and I get that. But when me and my family go out, because it's truly a break for me to have to, you know, cook all the time, or if I'm tired, or, you know, I really need to eat now, that type of thing. You know, sometimes I just think, you know, like, this is only going to be going on for like 25, 30 minutes, and then it'll be over. And if we can get through that, it'll be fine. And it's practice. You're building upon each experience. So definitely, I encourage you not to have the attitude like, I can't take my kids anywhere, or be afraid to do things. Like, you're going to have embarrassing moments. And most people who've been through it will be understanding. Some older people, they get a little forgetful about what it was like. But most people will be understanding and even helpful, or, you know, just give you supportive looks, or won't say anything. And that in itself is grateful, you know, gracefulness. The worst thing is to have someone say something that's a little bit inappropriate or inconsiderate, even though they think they're being helpful, and all you want to do is just run off in the car by yourself and leave your kids there. But just stay encouraged. Like, this, they're not going to be that young forever, and the older kids, you know, like, they really can help out, and they can help be a blessing, you know, while that's going on, by being supportive and trying to offer ways to help, and sometimes just by being quiet while you deal with it. And you know, just have to teach your kids as they get older to be sensitive and to be aware. And I feel really blessed that I've been able to have that with mine. It's not always perfect, but again, it's an experience, and it's made me a better person and a much humbler person, and I really appreciate that. So take your kids out, get in the practice, don't give up, just clean yourself off sometimes, and do it again. Before you know it, you'll be able to go out and have a meal and relax, and it'll be like you never struggled with that. So let me know if you have any more topics that you would like to hear my opinion or perspective on. I try to keep it positive, try to keep it light. We only live life once, and we have to appreciate everyone that we have every day that we're here, and that means our crabby, tantrum-riddled children. So, alright, from Busy Dreaming Mom, bye guys.